I actually came in Starship Troopers towards the tail end, which actually, I got to work on a lot of stuff that went in front of the camera, and worked on some of the ships. Mostly, a lot of the stuff that I did was a lot of the acid, the like the napalm stuff, the destroyed ships, and basically I would make the guys in the shop cry because, they had spent all this time on a certain spaceship, and I'd go in there with a sawzall and cut the thing into chunks, and then go in and age out. We did the sequence where the ship comes in half and you can see all the decks, like coming apart like this, and we had little bodies and little dudes, and and Randy Cooper and Randy has always been like my hero, and to a lot of other model makers, and Randy and I we were the guys who worked on the miniature, the tabletop version. There's so much detail in that, it's obviously not for film. Because you could put a potato in the background, and it's been done before, or a shoe. I mean, I think I wasn't there on the day of the filming, but somebody said they actually put a sneaker in. Somebody put a sneaker in one of the background, like cruiser sequences, and you can't tell. But I think they used one or two of them just to placate the whole reason for building a model of that size. Basically, pretty much it was a giveaway. It was designed and built to give to big cheeses, and it was a present from Starship Troopers, and that job went union also. That was a great group of guys too. Thunderstone. I mean, there's a sad story that I heard about Troopers, that somebody had seen the Roger Young and the Ticonderoga and stuff like that in a dumpster,
When we were doing Starship Troopers, R2-D2 again, we had this huge Roger Young. This model was 18 feet long. Big spaceship, very complex. Tons of detail all over. Oh my God, it had detail. And again, it's like, hey, you got a week to paint it. Oh, thank you. It's because they really wanted things paneled. We had to copy an existing model of it. The problem was Thunderstone and their director had screwed around so much with the design and all this that he ran out of time to film all the scenes with the model. So he contracted Boss and ILM to build duplicate models so other camera crews could be shooting the model to get all the shots. They weren't managing the time very well. So we did this, and this is sort of this grain spaceship, and with lots of panels and various greens and olive greens and stuff. So it's got scale and weathering. And in comes, into the paint booth comes Dave Jones. And he's like, oh, looks cool, Bruce. Good job. Thank you, Dave. Bruce, is that R2-D2? Yes, Dave. He says, are there more? Yes, Dave. How many? 5. Oh, there's one. And where are the other one? There's one there, and one there, and one back there. And he's like, you can see him with his mind's going, God, if anybody's, the wrong person sees this, I'm going to be in trouble. And he says, you're not going to paint them like blue and white and silver. Oh, no, Dave. These are combat, military. They're green like the hull. I mean, of course, And I said, Dave, where else would an R2 be but on the hull? Okay. He wanders off. And Greg was not too far away, and he saw this encounter, and he's like, good. I think he's full. Yeah, keep the R2s. I started this. I don't want to see him go. There's one time Greg was he was getting hounded by Thunderstone. He'd worked over there and came to Boss. And not sure what happened. He was very unhappy with it. He had a lot of pressure. A lot of stuff was going on.
Yeah, one of the hairy things that we had to do on that show was to build a large-scale urethane rubber replica of the. I'm not sure. Oh, I know what it was. It was partly urethane and partly lead because something was supposed to be crumpled on it during the shot. But it was of the bridge section of the big giant space cruiser, whatever it was called, that had to basically fly off because it's been hit by something, by an asteroid, or I think it runs into an asteroid as it's trying to escape. But getting this thing, this huge miniature section mounted up on an air cannon and getting it to fly off in exactly the way that they wanted proved to be pretty problematic, because it kept spinning the wrong way. It had to do with the way the mortar was rigged, I think, and the way that the center of gravity was here and the mortar pipe was down here. And so when it came off with a couple of 100 pounds of air pushing it from behind, it wanted to kind of backspin, which was the exact opposite of what they wanted. But I remember some late nights trying to get that to work. I also remember some difficulties with the wind out at the Van Nuys Airport.
We ended up doing everything on multiple strand cables with motors that could pull. We'd use gravity to pull it down, and then these motors could pull on these individual 6 wires. So in effect, it was that kind of motion rig upside down with electric motors and cables instead of hydraulic rams. And it worked beautifully. And we were able to hang it from the ceiling of the stage and shoot these 20-foot, 22-foot models. And so we built that for Turbulence, which I was the visual effects supervisor for Boss Film on that, along with Richard Edlin. He was co-supervisor. And then we also did Starship Troopers, which had a Roger Young that was, I think, 20 feet. So it was, once again, a large miniature, so that the camera, on all of these, the reasoning was so the camera could get much, much closer to the ship.
You know, I remember that working on Starship Troopers, and the Star Wars was happening, you know, and starting up, and it was like kind of a secret thing, and then it all broke out that we're going to be, you know, working on it, and I was like, oh my God. And then of course, you know, I mean, I like Starship Troopers, and it was a blast working on that, but when you heard Star Wars was next, it's like, I want to start now, today. I want to go now, you know, I'm going to leave, so I had to finish up, but I was like, I felt like when I was told to go on Star Wars, okay, you're going to work on Star Wars starting next week, I was like, yeah, that's so cool.